Golden dreams shine through your eyes. Hand in hand we soar on wings of fame. Build our empire with our name. Melania and together we stand, stronger than ever, ruling this land. Through thick and thin, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Beyond the headlines, there's a story, a bond unbroken, love and glory. Walking down halls of marble and gold, living our tale, our saga unfolds. And in the soar on wings of fame, build our empire with our name. Melania and Donna, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Through thick and thin, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Through the head, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. In the spotlight, thick and thin, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Beyond the headlines, there's our story, a bond unbroken, love and glory. Walking down halls of marble and gold, living our tale, our saga unfolds. Beyond the headlines.
Hello, Donald. How would you describe Melania's sense of humor? Oh, Melania's sense of humor is subtle but sharp. She's not the type to be constantly cracking jokes, but then she does, it's always something clever that catch you off guard. Her humor is a mix of wit and a bit of dry sarcasm, which I really appreciate. It's delivered with such grace that sometimes people don't see it coming. But when they do, it leaves a lasting impression. She is not loud about it, but her humor is definitely a strong part of who she is. Can you share a moment when Melania's humor really surprised you? There was this one time during a very tense meeting at the White House. The atmosphere was heavy and everyone was on edge. Out of nowhere, Melania made this perfect timed comment that had everyone in the room laughing. It wasn't loud or obvious, but it was exactly what we all needed at that moment to break the tension. I was surprised because it was so unexpected, but it reminded me just how attuned she is with this what's going on around her. Her humor isn't always on display, but when she chooses to show it, it's impactful. Does Melania enjoy playing practical jokes? Any memorable ones? Melania isn't really the practical joke type, but she does have a playful side. I remember one time she switched my favorite golf club with this novelty oversized one as a joke. It was light-hearted and I got a good laugh out of it, especially since she usually doesn't go for that kind of humor. It was a small thing, but it showed her playful side, which I always enjoy seeing. It's a moments like that where you see her humor in action in a very subtle but effective way. How does Melania use humor to lighten the mood at home? At home, Melania's humor is a way to keep things balanced. She has a way of knowing when things are getting a bit too serious or when I am stressed. And that's when she'll say something witty or make a light-hearted comment. It's her way of reminding me and everyone else not to take everything so seriously. Her humor at home is like a breath of fresh air. It's what helps keep the atmosphere light and pleasant even during challenging time. Is there a particular type of humor that Melania enjoys most, like sarcasm, puns, or witty remarks? Oh, Melania definitely enjoys wit and clever remarks the most. She appreciates humor that's thoughtful, something that makes you think rather than just laugh and a punchline. She is not really into puns or slapstick. Her style is more refined. It's the kind of humor where you might need a second to catch one, but once you do, you realize how brilliant it is. Her humor is a reflection of her personality, elegant and sophisticated, with a touch of sharpness. How does Melania humor differ from yours? Oh, my humor is more direct and sometimes even a bit in your face. I like to be bold and at times provocative with my jokes. Melania's humor, on the other hand, is more understated and subtle. She doesn't feel the need to be loud to be funny. Her humor is more about timing and delivery. We complement each other in that way. I bring the energy and she brings the sophistication. It's a good balance, and I think that's part of why we work so well together. Has Melania ever used humor to diffuse a tense situation? Can you share an example? Oh, absolutely. Melania has a real knack for that. I remember during one particularly heated discussion, emotions were running high and things were getting a bit out of hand. Melania calmly interjected this humorous observation about the absurdity of what we were arguing over. It wasn't joke in a traditional sense, but it was funny because it made everyone step back and realize how silly the whole thing was. It really helped to diffuse the tension and brought everyone back to a more reasonable place. That's something I've always admired about her. She knows how to bring perspective through humor. Do you and Melania share any inside jokes that have lasted through the years? Oh, yes, we have quite a few inside jokes, actually. One that comes to mind is from early in our relationship, a little miscommunication due to language differences. It was something that got lost in translation, literally, and it became these funny moments that we still laugh about today. It's a running joke between us, something only we would understand, which makes it special. It's those little things that keep our connection strong and remind us to the journey we've been on together. How does Melania's humor come across in social settings? In a social settings, Melania's humor is always very charming. She doesn't seek to be the center of attention, but when she does make a joke, it's always well received. People very appreciate her quick wit and the way she can make light of situations without being over the top. It's subtle, but it leaves a strong impression on those who catch it. Her humor in social settings is just another example of how she carries herself with such poise and grace, even when being funny. Are there any comedians or funny shows that Melania particularly enjoys watching? Melania enjoys classic comedy, particularly shows with smart writing. She's not into anything too crass or over the top. Shows like Frasier or The Office are more her style. Something with layers of humor that aren't just about punchlines, but about the characters and situations. She enjoys humor that's clever and well thought out, which makes sense given her own style of humor. We sometimes watch these shows together, and it's always fun to see her reaction to the more nuanced jokes. How has Melania's sense of humor influenced your relationship over the years?
Together we stand, stronger than ever, ruling this land. Through thick and thin, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Beyond the headlines, there's our story, a bond unbroken, love and glory. We're walking down halls of marble and gold, living our tale, our saga unfolds. Hand in the sword, on wings of fame.
What role does humor play in your day to day life with Melania?
And we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Through thick and thin, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Through in the head, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. In the spotlight, thick and thin, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Beyond the headlines, there's our story, a bond unbroken, love and glory. Walking down halls of marble.
Have you ever been caught off guard by something funny Melania said or did?
Headlines, there's our story, a bond unbroken, love and glory. Walking down halls, marble and gold, living our tale, our saga unfolds. We meet at the top, high-rise skies, golden dreams shine through your eyes. Hand in hand we soar on wings
How does Melania's humor reflect her personality overall?
our name. Melania together we stand, stronger than ever, ruling this land. Through thick and thin, we hold tight, facing the world in the spotlight. Beyond the headlines, there's our story, a bond unbroken, love and glory. We're walking down halls of marble and gold, living our tale, our saga unfolds.
Can you recall a time when Melania made you laugh during a particularly stressful moment?